Drew McIntyre walked out after Survivor Series. I'm Todd Tanner. This is Black Wrestling News. Let's get right down to the nitty gritty of this story. Drew McIntyre was reportedly incredibly angry immediately as a result of CM Punk's shocking WWE return and immediately left the Allstate Arena, the venue for Survivor Series, after it happened. Last night, 17,138 fans filled into the Allstate Arena in Chicago to watch the 37th annual Survivor Series. Originally, Survivor Series took place in the NWA, or the National Wrestling Alliance, and was created by the one and only, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, with the acquisition of World Championship Wrestling and things of that nature. Of course, they get the credit for it. It was the second consecutive installment of the Thanksgiving tradition to feature the War Games stipulation, as on the men's side of things, McIntyre teamed up with Judgment Day to battle the babyface team of Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and the returning Randy Orton. When it came down to it, it was the American Nightmare planning Damian Priest with a crossroads in order to seal the win for his team. However, coming out of the event, there's only one thing dominating the world of wrestling: the return of CM Punk to WWE. That's not fair. It should have been the return of Randy Orton that dominated Survivor Series. And CM Punk is a perpetual pain wherever he goes. No matter where he goes, there's always going to be something wrong, and he won't last in the WWE that long again. As the babyface team were celebrating their triumphant win inside of the War Game structure, the iconic static blast over the speakers and Cult of Personality hit during the WWE event for the first time in almost 10 years, and the straight edge survivor or savior made an emphatic comeback. As expected, the fans in Chicago came unglued to welcome their hometown icon back to WWE, with the returning star hugging several members of the audience near the stage and loud CM Punk chants breaking out over the top of his entrance theme. But it doesn't seem as if the pure joy experienced by the majority of fans was shared by some members of the roster. Immediately following the return, or the shock return, fan footage emerged of Seth, who was seemingly legitimately furious at the arrival of CM Punk, and news has now broken on Drew being angry following the conclusion of Survivor Series. Per Insider, the Scotsman stormed out of last night's premium live event in what was described as a loud and obvious situation. Drew McIntyre stormed out of the ring after the end of War Games match that closed Survivor Series. McIntyre stormed into the back, slammed his locker door, threw on a hoodie, and immediately left the Allstate Arena. It was obvious to everyone that McIntyre was angry, but no word yet as to why. No word yet as to why. You know why. It was such a loud and obvious situation that a lot of people witnessed it, and it's become a subject of conversation over the last hour. At the time news of Drew's exit broke, the reason behind his alleged bad mood wasn't clear, but it was reported by Sean Ross Sapp that talent were only told of CM Punk's impending return just before the entrances for main event. So, it's entirely plausible that Drew was letting his frustrations out after having to compete before being as Fightful is also reporting that sources have informed them that McIntyre storming out of the arena following the culmination of last night's show was linked to Punk's return to WWE, as it seems like he wasn't too happy with the former World Heavyweight Champion being welcomed back into the company. The 45-year-old is someone who has divided opinion everywhere he's been, like I said at the beginning of the show, and comes into WWE off the back of two backstage incidents in AEW, which ultimately led to his firing. So as much as it appears as if members of the roster are genuinely unhappy heading out of Survivor Series, we have to mention the possibility that WWE is playing off of what happened with Punk in AEW and creating storylines of backstage unrest, and that's far from confirmed. For Black Wrestling News, I'm Todd Tanner.